Welcome to Lucia Gabriela TV, the place to be if you want to learn everything we can about love, relationships, sensuality, sexuality, intimacy, and really living in our purpose. Today we have a special guest, and her name is Darya Haitoglou. And we're going to share a little bit about her, and then she's going to come and share with us about the topic, which is really inspiring today, is how to enrich our life, a path to fulfillment and happiness. So Darya has with more than 10 years of coaching and talent management experience, she had developed a passion to help people fulfill their potential and be the best version of themselves, to be the best version of themselves. She's a certified trainer in NLP coaching and strategic interventions for personal and business growth. So welcome, Darya, to coming to our show. And how you doing today?
Well, thank you very much, Lucia. Great. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So we reach out to you, and well, we're so excited to have you into the show today because you want to share more about how to enrich our life and live in fulfillment and joy and happiness. So let's start with that. How can we enrich our life?
Oh, straight into okay. So the topic is very dear to my heart, and as a psychologist, I research couples, individuals, and families, and what makes them feel happy, fulfilled, and successful in their life. And with my colleagues, and we also know from the research, and the longest research in psychology is done, called the Harvard Grant Study, that people who experience fulfillment and happiness in their life, they have enriched relationships. So we are spot on here talking about relationships, because relationships and life, they are intertwined. So if we want to feel happy in our life, we need to make sure that we feel happy, first of all, with ourselves, because that's the primary relationship that we have. And secondly, with the relationship of our intimate partner, if we have one. And if we don't have one, we can ask ourselves why we don't have a partner. So I work, in my line of work is in systemic relationship coaching, and we look at also some patterns that go through generations and patterns that prevent us or allow us to flourish in our relationships. And that, of course, leads to a fulfilled life.
So what do you think are the patterns that prevent people from having an amazing partner in their life?
Wow, that's a great question, actually. There could be many different reasons why people choose to, or unconsciously, are single. So they may consciously say, yes, I want to find a partner, but there may be many reasons why they're not together with someone. The systemic approach, and what we've noticed and seen in different families happening, is that the childhood models that we learn between our mother and father and their relationships make a lot of influence into our adulthood life and our romantic relationships that we build with other partner. So if, for example, we saw a relationship that was not functional, let's say when there was abuse, either emotional or mental or physical, maybe a child was not happy. And when children are little, when they see someone quarreling, it can be a mother or a father in their family, they take the blame on them and they think that they are the guilty ones. So later on, it's very hard for that child grown big to have a healthy relationship, because they have that kind of shame and self-guilt for the relationship of their parents. So it's a projected, complicated reality for them to find someone who, on one hand, can heal that part, so the person feels whole again. But at the same time, that is we're looking for a partner, our soulmate, who would encompass or will be an interesting representation of our family of origin, and at the same time have those struggles and healing opportunities for us to grow spiritually, to grow emotionally, to grow through our challenges and barriers that we have. Now, there may be a lot of barriers. So when we are looking for that soulmate, although consciously we want, and we're even clear on, yes, this type of person we want to have, but what we consciously want and unconsciously are looking for can be completely different. So that is a mismatch. And until we align these two, kind of making a bridge between our left part of our brain, which is conscious, and the right part of our brain, which is unconscious, and making a bridge to understand and also feel ourselves and understand who we are, to find the right partner for us and be open to that partner. So a lot of the time we want someone who is much higher in terms of standards than we are, and we think, well, no, that person is not good enough for me, I want someone better. But to be with a better person, we need to become a better version of us. And that's where the journey is not happening for people who haven't found that, ideal soulmate, because they're not investing enough in their own development. And some people settle for mediocre, some people settle for achievement or success in their life. And I work with a lot of high achievers who don't have intimate, let's say, committed partnership, because it's much more difficult, it's much more painful to be facing yourself in that mirror and work on yourself. It's much easier to go and do projects and succeed in actions. It's much harder to be and to go through that pain originated maybe in the childhood or maybe even before that. So this is a little bit deep as a topic, but you asked a very important and very deep question: why people stay single. So there are multiple reasons why. And the majority of reasons, if it's a pattern, if they keep falling out of relationships, if they keep finding the wrong person, so to say, the wrong partner, maybe not available. A lot of people go for not available partners. They are either committed in other relationships or they just don't want a relationship. If we see patterns, we need to look into them. We need to look behind them. What's behind? Why they're happening? There's always a reason.
Yeah, I actually have I love to write poetry and erotic writing, and one of my writing was about loving loving an unavailable man, and it was based on like an experience of energy that was happening, where I was going through my process of bringing, people into my life that were unavailable, but also, and I would be asking like why, I'm attracting unavailable opportunities, not just men or because I'm in a relationship, but I'm talking about the way I wrap it together is it's all about relationships. So when I'm attracting an available man in my life, or an available woman, or an available opportunity, it's all related. Like I'm bringing the same thing with unavailable money, unavailable possibilities in my life. And I was doing the whole deep work of just searching within. Like I said, it's very easy to go and look for an outside project, and it's very like so much time consuming and so much energy consuming to really start going deeper into you within yourself. And I was just looking inside, and I was like mirroring myself and looking into my shadow and my patterns, and I'm like, where I am not available with myself. And the more deeper I went into my own question, like where I am not being available with myself, I start like tuning into like, oh, I'm not available here. I'm not making myself available to exercise or to drink, my water every day, right?
Yeah.
Taking care of myself and all that stuff. So it's truly important what you're saying, that look and recognize the patterns that we have in our life, and look deeper and say like within, like this is presenting outside of me, but the core is within me. So that's, even though that it's a deep work, is a deep conversation, and that's the truth why people are not getting the relationship that they want and the partner that they want, because we don't want to invest. We don't want to invest in ourselves. We feel like investing in ourselves is too much. I'd rather to buy myself a diamond ring or something like that than invest in my own growth, and which actually is such a juicy reward when you are free from all this clutter. And so we were talking before we got in here about the aspect of mother and father, and even though that is a deep conversation, and the reason why I want to bring this into the conversation today is because for all of our viewers who are looking to be in relationship, who are looking to attract amazing lovers into their life, or reignite the relationship with the relationship, with the partners, with the lovers, and to have a rich, fulfilled life and full of joy, bliss, and happiness, we have to face one thing that we all run from. And I feel like we all run from facing our father and mother patterns of like what really is going on in that realm. So we were talking a little bit about that before um, our interview. So if you want to share a little bit about that, dive deeper into it, what is your perspective on it? And to let you talk about good time, the aspect of what aspect of the dad are we working, when we're in a relationship, and what aspect of mom we're working in a relationship.
Right. Well, it's topics we could do a seminar
Yeah.
on. Is one seminar on the mother and one seminar on the father, but I'll try to summarize and give you little tips, practical, just to think about, and for people who watch to just contemplate on. So in a systemic relationship approach, we of course look at our intimate relationship as a consequence of many forces in play. One force is what we remember as models between the relationship of our mother and father, and their relationship with their family as well, because that's a projection of how I look back into my family history, what I come with. And we are natural product of our history, of all the relationships that happened before us, and we are a product, and thanks to them we are alive, and we are who we are also thanks to them. So we survived, we've learned, we take the best, what we think is the best for us to survive, and then as an adult we make a choice. There's always a choice. And the problem with our society is that we think the problem is a problem, right? And we actually look at problems as amazing opportunities. So whatever we're struggling with, let's look into that. Now, if we are struggling with as we're like a woman talking, and I am having a relationship with my partner who's a man, for example, then of course the same dynamic would be interesting to look into as a woman and my dad. So what type of relationship I had? Of course, as a little girl, the task of a dad is to cherish, to protect, to love, no matter what, unconditionally. And that is a beautiful part that generally girls take, and they remember. They don't remember as much bad things about that relationship. They take the best, and then they try to find and match that new image to find a partner. Now, if that's one strategy. Another strategy, if the relationship between the mother and the father was dysfunctional, and a girl took a side of a mother and she rejected the father, so that is a different strategy. Then she would need to take another step to come in peace with her father in order to create a good relationship with a man. If not, we've seen patterns where these relationships, intimate relationships, would be multiple and dysfunctional. So it's very important how we treat our parents, even in our own mind. Because they have their own, of course, decisions and life, and they can live and make certain choices. But it's important how we think of them, and what we think about them, and what meaning we make of their relationship and our relationship with them. Okay? So if we look at us as a woman and our relationship with a father, we can say that that has some consequence in our relationship with a man. A relationship with our mother, though, has consequences in the way how we treat other aspects of life. In the systemic approach, we've seen that, for example, the feeling of abundance or feeling self-confident, feeling high self-esteem, having access to abundant resources like finances, like, for example, feeling free to go and explore the world. It also comes with a little bit of a consequence of our relationship with our mother. And healing that part allows us to step into a bigger world of opportunities. And every time I work with someone, and if they have issues with money, for example, we look at their relationship with their mother first. And there's an interesting correlation, and it's not scientifically proven, but a lot of the time, when we work on the relationship with the mother, then the abundance comes into play. So it's a very interesting aspect to look into systemically. Now, of course, in terms of sexuality, you probably know that we replay the patterns, how we learned how to be loved as a child. We replay those patterns in our sexual life. Even the way how we satisfy ourselves or allow ourselves to experience orgasm or not, this is also a consequence how we learned how to be loved. So I would say, tell me how you experience love, making love or orgasm, and I will tell you how you were loved as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of ripple effects from where we come from. I don't say it's set in stone. We always can change things. And that's the beauty of our mind and the neuroplasticity, that even in the late 90s, we can change our patterns. All down to our consciousness and awareness and being able to step into the change process and be open to transformations. So those who willing, those who are ready, those who would like to, they generally go into those transformational experiences. But if you leave this automatically and leave it with no action and no change, there are two strategies that people choose. Either do the same as their parents or do the opposite. And I offer a third one, which is a conscious approach to relationships, where you make a decision how you want to take some strategies and patterns from your parents that were functional and were effective, that you can still learn to apply in your relationships, and those which strategies you want to unlearn. And that takes a little bit of practice to actually unlearn certain dysfunctional patterns, to then bring what you want and create new traditions, new rules, new strategies, new principles in the relationship that you're building. That's kind of it. That's the relationship in place, kind of systemic way to look into it.
I love the depth to it. Like, I'm a very deep person, so when you're talking about it, I'm like really diving deeper into more like deep questions, and I'm like, oh shoot, we just have like 10 more minutes or something like that. But so to highlight something that you said to our viewers is that our relationship with a mother reflects project other aspect of our life, what really is going on with other aspect of our life. And you mentioned a lot of the aspect of money, and our relationship with our father is what we bring, what the dynamic that's happening in our relationship with our lovers, our intimate partners, and even maybe friends, right? Like, it could be the aspect of our relationship with people in general, like friends, lovers, or just intimate partners.
Yes, we see also reflection on friends, how we perceive. It's all about perception, really, and meaning making. It's how we make meaning of certain actions from the opposite sex, and that's how we were treated or how we expect to be treated, because that's what we know. If we were treated in let's say if our family had an abusive relationship, maybe emotional, and there was a very tough partnership. For example, I had a case where father was an alcoholic, a very successful lawyer, but a drug addict and alcoholic. And they divorced, and had a wonderful daughter who grew up And of course, she made a decision as a child to never marry a drug addict, to find a person who would be free from addiction. Now she found, guess what? She found an artist who was not a drug addict, but he had those interesting aspects of risk taking and creativity and spontaneity and unpredictability that she was familiar with in her relationship with her dad when he had a destructive behavior. And then with her new partner, an artist, she had some of those unpredictable moments that she was longing for it in order to heal and grow through. So this is an important piece that we, in intimate relationship, that for sure we see. In friendship, not so much, but we still have ripple effect, especially under stress. If everything goes well, we are, let's say, perfect human beings and we behave the way we want to behave. There's no difficulty. The difficulty comes to play when we're under stress and under demand from different forces, and when we get out of our balance. So if a friendship pushes out, or presses those tough buttons, yes. But in intimate relationship, we see that more and more, because this is the toughest relationship. Because we choose to wake up every day with the same person, whether they're in good mood or in a bad mood. We go through suffering, we go through very close intimacy and separation, and all those buttons are triggered. And we need to fulfill, our destiny in that relationship. But at the same time, we want to fill our bucket with positive emotion, and we're expecting so much from that partner. We are longing to fulfill our own needs as a child, our needs as a woman or a man, also as a parent, and all those intertwined roles. We want to be fulfilled by that one partner. It used to take a village to raise a child or a human being, and we would satisfy our needs in that village. People would be supporting us. Nowadays, we live in cities, away from our family, away from our roots. We don't even know people who surround us, blocks of flats, right? People from all around the world come and live next to us. And that is an interesting concept these days, where there's a lot of stress on our personality, on our spirit, because we feel disconnected. And there's a systemic rule to belong. We all long to belong to a certain system. So if we're away and separated from our system of origin, from our village, surrounded by people who we don't belong to, then it's very important to find a system which where we would belong. And we're looking into our partner like that system, which puts a lot of pressure on the partnership. And that's why we see so many breakups and divorces around the world, more than 50% in some countries, and 70% in Belgium, for example. So there are quite big changes in the way how we live, especially in cities, and we need to be careful. So we need to first look into our, let's say, skeletons before we move forward and build and create an ideal relationship, or the relationship that would be nourishing, enriching, and fulfilling.
Yes, I call it that. In my whole work program, I pretty much call that clearing your love canvas. Like that's pretty much like a good percentage of the work. Like you work into the child, like you said, like working with the mother, father figure, the skeletons of what's really holding us back, and the energies and the shadows and all these, all these things that need to be unlearned in one aspect and uncreate too. So we are in a time where we see, for example, you mentioned 70% involvement here in Florida. Just in Sarasota, I just heard that it's between 65 and 70%, like around 70% of divorce rate here in Sarasota. That's why I'm pretty much I'm blessed to be here, because my passion is to help many people to be in awesome relationship. It doesn't matter if they're married or they're not married, but be in awesome relationship with themselves and even the ex-husbands and ex-wives, and that's which we need because our kid need to see that. And because I'm a mother, I know that you're a mother of three, right? Um, as a mother, when we're talking about mothers who are separated and divorced and we have children, I know that, I'm becoming more conscious and conscious about my interaction with my daughter for her to have a good relationship with her father, even though sometimes, her father can drive me crazy and I have to work with a mirror of that. I have to be
Yeah.
honest because I can be as vulnerable as I can. And I work my talk. So there's a lot of, we have to be very conscious of like how we talk to our children. But it's a very interesting dynamic because you can be doing your personal growth, and the reason why pretty much my relationship ended in one aspect is because I was doing my work and this person was not doing the work and on a level, so the relationship had to end, and you know it was very abusive too for each other. um so when you came from like an abusive relationship and a divorce, like a very harsh divorce, and still the process like a little too much sometimes. How, as a mother, and I know that we have a few more minutes, but as a mother, for all of yours who are mothers and single mothers and going through the process of the divorce, the raising the kids on the on or with a, another partner, how can we help our children to do not heritage drag with themselves this whole dysfunction relationship with their fathers, because I don't want my daughter to have a sucking relationship with a man in her life, or a traumatic experience. So what a mother can do.
Yes. Oh, what a great question. The best role or the best thing that a mother can do to feel happy herself is to look after herself, to find a relationship that is nurturing. Because what a daughter wants to see, or as any child, they want their parents to be loving or in their own love, yeah, to be happy. And out of love, they will do everything to support their parents, to be honest. So the role of a mother is to find that relationship with another man, or on her own if she can, to be happy. That is the best you can do as an investment. Now, in terms of the relationship with your ex, of course, the best you can do is to heal that part and to let go, to forgive, to create a relationship that is mutually, let's say, friendship if possible. If not possible, then still respect that partner, because the way how you show as a mother respect to man, your daughter will learn, and that's going to be her first model. So we shouldn't be bothered too much about how our children, how we can help our children. I think there's so much we can, when we can, and we need to help ourselves first. And children will be, they're like grass in a way. They will grow in any condition. Huh? And they will do their own work when they grow up. So we can release that stress. And the more we release stress about our children, the less we worry about them, the better they will feel. Because when parents worry about children, the message that they're passing on to them is that they are not sure that they can make their life. Yeah? They can do things on their own. So the best thing that a parent can do is trust the child will do the right thing, and they should focus on their own life and involve children in a way to look after them, to give that love. But we can't give love until we have it ourselves, and we give love to ourselves first. So the steps that we need to make, raise our self-confidence, nurture ourselves, nourish ourselves, create a loving partnership with a new person, and then that child will just learn with water and nutrients, they will grow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to wrap it up, I want to just share some of the highlights that we have, which I took so many of it. And like Daria was saying, to really see ourselves, to be honest with ourselves about why we're not attracting a relationship or the men that we love in our life or women, we really had to ask ourselves a question: why I don't have a partner? Like, what really is going on? And she and I, we were like sharing that it's truly important to do our self work, deep inner work, go deep within ourselves, and just do so much of this because it's not easy, but the rewards are incredible. And we would really recommend everyone to look up to Daria's website, reach out for help, or even we have a whole community here in our shows. We have so many people that are amazing. Whoever you feel and align with to work with, we definitely recommend you to reach out to a coach, a mentor, healer, and get something done. You really, you're not just worthy, but you are amazing. That your desires, your life, your purpose, like need to be fulfilled, need to be here in this planet. The other thing that we look at is the aspect of mother and father. So relationship, had to do a lot with the father relationship that we had, and everything else and other aspect of our life is with our mother. So if we having issues in our relationship, let's really look into what is our relationship with our father. And then we have issues with other aspect of our life, especially with money, look into our relationship with our mother and dive deeper into that. uh, I loved you said, Daria, that you said that we all human, we all human beings have the desire to belong. So if we can just start with that and really recognize that we belong to be in this planet, that we belong here, and start whether with inside ourselves and be able to come to the world and say, hey, I'm here, I belong here, I'm here for a reason. Um, Also, for all of us mothers who are in a relationship, or in a second relationship with you know what I mean, divorced mothers, and they have children, and been struggling with the aspect of the divorce and the ex-husbands and all that. What Daria mentioned was truly inspiring to me, that I'm going to be putting in practice myself: the aspect of respect, the trust, and the self-confidence. And it's truly important to respect the father of our children, and our children will pick that up, and they will respect the father, and when they get older, they will be respecting the relationship too. So which I'm taking that into account, and I really, really, really like that. So pretty much that's what we have: like, trust yourself, be self-confident, and really work on yourself. Really, 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 really work on yourself. You really want to have the amazing, exciting, juicy, delicious, orgasmic life that you want and desire. You got to start working on yourself. So how people can reach out to you, and what do you have coming up? I know that you have a retreat, an amazing retreat coming up. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so all information is on my website, which is daryahaitoglou.com. And I work on my second book currently, which is the same name, Enrich Your Life, a guide to fulfillment and happiness. And I have a lot of projects going on. Like, my agenda for this year is full, so I can share another hour of what I'm working on. But there's a program on emotional kaleidoscope, how to transform negative emotions to positive. There's also a program on how to enrich relationships, the retreats. But I think all information is accessible on the website. So
And what
whoever's
about the retreat? I know that the retreat is in Greece, and how many days is that retreat? Just give it a little glimpse so people can really get excited and say, hey, I want to be there.
Yeah, so the retreat is in April, and it's 17th to 22nd of April, and it is 5 days in a beautiful, beautiful environment in Greece.
Cool. So can you spell your last name for the viewers that they're watching right now?
So it's H-A-I-T for Tango, O-G for golf, L for Lima, O-U.
Cool.
Haitoglou. Yeah. Then Darya is D-A-R-Y-A. So it's daryahaitoglou.com.
Awesome.
That's the website.
So we're going to be putting the link to the retreat in our description to the interview today. So you'll be able to find it there. But I am so glad. I'm so thankful for your time. I know it's late over there in UK. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today and sharing amazing wisdom. And also really, it was a short conversation, but we got so much out of it. I really feel like we you you touched things that had not been here yet. So I love
Great.
that.
Well, Lucia, you're doing some amazing work. So I'm happy to be here and spread the love and join the forces.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, so we are done for today. Thank you so much to all of viewers who are watching live, and thank you if you're watching the replay. And I appreciate you, and thank you for subscribing to this channel, Lucia Gabriela TV. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or you want to interview somebody about a specific topic, please email us YouTube, and we'll be very glad to get that together for you. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Darya, again.
Thank
Have
you.
a
Take
great
care.
day. Have a great night. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic day. And remember, work on yourself. You are amazing. You are amazing. So let's start working deep within ourselves and achieve the life that we truly desire. Have a great one, everyone. Love you. Take care of yourself.